Got it. Nice to meet you, Megan. I think I got an email, so it's nice to put a name to your at least virtual face.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. It's that end of the year push, so we are recording this for our school site staff. They have their plates full getting ready for the end of the year, so hopefully they're able to view this later if they weren't able to attend the meeting, but we have a lot to cover. Is there anybody else who has any announcements before we go ahead and get moving? No? All right, we will go ahead and keep moving then. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. There we go. All right, so just quickly, we're going to go over some of the things going on this month, some updates, and then we're lucky to have Carolina Skivias, our own TUSD clinician and social worker, who will be going over some mental health awareness and resource information for all of us, since it is Mental Health Month. So we just want you to take a moment because mental health is so important. It's a national recognition that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's a lot more common than we would like to think. 1 in 5 people actually experience a mental health condition, and we hope that one day we can get towards a place where when mental health is an issue, that we take care of it like when we take care of a broken arm, or when we take care of the flu, or we treat it like any other health condition, so that people don't feel stigmatized to get assistance or that we need help, right? It's just part of our overall health. So I will leave that to Carolina for later, so she can go over some resources and information about Mental Health Month. But another thing that is happening this month is actually Foster Youth Awareness Month. May is National Foster Care Month. And it's a great time to kind of think about if you know of anybody who might be interested in being a resource family. It's always nice to have families that are in the community to be able to take students in temporarily if needed, so that they don't have to leave their schools and their community ties if something unfortunate happens and they do have to leave the care of their parent or guardian for a temporary time. So if anybody's interested in that, it is Foster Youth Month. And we wanted to share some information. It's a lot more common than we would think. They sent out a list through LA County Office of Education, LACO, letting us know with their toolkit about things that schools could do. And there's a lot of famous people who have gone through foster care or who have been adopted. And so it affects a lot of children. You can see Bill Clinton was in kinship care. So a lot of times we only think of students who are in foster care with strangers. We don't think of people who are in care with other relatives, right? And sometimes those relatives end up adopting them. Same with Oprah Winfrey, George Lopez, and Leonardo DiCaprio, and Simone Biles is a famous person. She's talked about being adopted by her grandparents. And there are a lot of other famous cases as well. So sometimes when our foster youth get nurtured, they can achieve great things. And so I just wanted to share this brief video for you guys to be able to kind of think about foster care. It was a very touching video that the California State Board of School Boards created, and I thought it was just something touching that we could share with you. So hopefully tech works with us this morning and you're able to see this video about foster youth this morning.
You might see me, but you don't see me.
I might look like every other student,
but I'm not. I'm in foster care.
But I am not a number, a placement, or a manila folder.
And I'm not the only one.
A lot of foster kids are having the same experiences I am, and we need your help.
The bad stuff?
I don't like to talk about the bad stuff. Physical abuse.
Emotional abuse.
Sexual abuse.
I get depressed.
and anxious.
I get angry.
So I get in trouble at school. Got suspended a few times.
I mean, I have the same classes as everyone else, but...
The truth is, I just have way bigger issues than my schoolwork.
I've been in 2 different schools this year.
5 home placements and 3 schools.
I don't know where I'll be living in 6 months, or even 3 months.
At times, I only get 7 days.
7 days.
7 days to change where I live. How many times have you had to move your whole life to a new home and a new school in just 7 days?
And then I lose any new friends I made at school. And after a few moves, you just quit trying.
Every time I transfer to a new school, it takes the district forever to figure out my transcripts.
What classes I should enroll in, and how far away I am from graduating.
I have to deal with that every time. I don't have space that's my own to get my work done.
Sometimes it's all too much.
So I skip school. But other times I'm sick, or a family member can't get me there.
Or sometimes I have court, so I miss a lot.
The future, I'm a little worried.
Of course I want to go to college, but only half of us graduate from high school.
I have a better chance of being homeless or getting arrested.
Schools aren't bad. They just weren't designed for kids like me.
Like me.
Like me.
But it seems like things are changing.
We are not invisible, but we are not in control either.
You are.
And with your help, we can do this.
We need you to make us more visible.
We need you to help make us successful.
We need you.
So I just thought that was a really touching video that made it clear how important any of us can be to some of the students that we see in our school district. Sometimes we don't know what they're going through or what they have to go through every morning to get to school every day, not just our foster youth in particular, but it could be also our homeless youth or other students facing other issues as well. I just thought it was a very good video to highlight some of their own voices. So if you're interested in some resources specifically for foster youth during Foster Care Month, the Children's Law Center has a lot of great fact sheets and stuff in terms of information there. Family First in LA County has, and also Foster Helping Kids in Foster Care has a lot of great resources for foster youth and families being resource families. And the last one is, as I mentioned, if you know of anybody who's interested in becoming a foster parent, or what now they're calling resource parents within LA County, you can click on there and it gives you all of the breakdown of what needs to be done. They've tried hard to simplify the process and make it easier so that families who are interested can do so. Feel free to click on those links if you have time, but it's a great avenue to be able to help some of our youth and keep them in their communities. So we'll go ahead and move on from that.
Nancy, can I make a comment?
Yes, of course.
This is Terry Reagans. I was just going to say that I really appreciated that it mentioned getting LCAP expenditures in line so that we actually are serving foster youth. I'm not sure I've ever seen a video that had that as part of the content, and that's really important.
Agreed. I think it's an important discussion, right? To make sure that our all of our finances are aligned with our goals and our vision for helping our students, right? It's a key way to be able to make sure we're targeting our services in the best way possible. Yeah, I think it was a different spin because it was put together by the California School Boards Association, and so it had a different perspective than other videos often have. So now on to another one of our populations that we work with throughout the year. We have some great news to talk about through Project Hope. We are grateful to always have that ongoing partnership with our Torrance Council of PTAs, which Terry Reagans is president this year, and also our Project Hope liaison, Denise. We're always happy to work with both of them. on this. Carolina, would you like to give a quick update on McKinney-Vento and what's going on right now?
Yeah, so what Nancy was saying is, Project Hope has been amazing this year, as every year, and we've been able to support all of our homeless seniors with prom tickets, prom dresses, makeup, and actually this Friday we're going to be going to the tux fitting with our senior boys to get their tuxes ready for prom. 2 schools have already had their prom, 2 more to go. And so yeah, a special thanks to Project Hope. On top of that, they've been able to help us fund grad night, yearbook, and senior swag, so sweatshirts and t-shirts for all of our senior students. And I've had several parents call me and really thank the program for being able to provide those very needed resources. We are finishing up our last parenting workshop, our active parenting. We currently have one going on through Bert Lynn. And so we have about 3 more weeks of those. And those have actually, the active parenting workshops have been really successful this year. Some of them have had upwards of 60 parents participating. So we are gonna roll out a new round starting next year. It seems that virtual seems to be the best way to get the best turnout. So we'll probably continue focusing on virtual classes next year. We have our last distribution coming up. It's coming up in about 2 weeks, where we'll be providing all of our McKinney-Vento families with a box of food and hygiene supplies and anything else they need. So some of our McKinney-Vento students are going to be going to summer school, so we'll be providing some school supplies for them. If anybody has any activities in the summer that you have a flyer for, if you can put it in the chat or send it to me, because I always try to get different resources, like a resource kind of packet together for our families on this last distribution. So they have some resources for the summer. And then, so most of our interns have finished. I have a couple of interns just finishing up hours this year. And this year we were able to provide really comprehensive case management for all of our McKinney-Vento families. We've seen an increase in the participation of distributions this year. We've seen an increase in engagement through our McKinney-Vento parents this year. So we've had some positive strides in our case management for our McKinney-Vento students. And we've also seen some improved attendance this year already, I believe. So, I want to thank all of our interns for all the hard work that they do with our case management with our McKinney-Vento students.
All right, so we wanted to share that with you, some good news. So we're continuing to work with our students to make sure that we can try and close that gap between their attendance and their achievement, and also highlighting their own achievements, right? So graduating just like all their peers and so forth.
And just to add, all of our McKinney-Vento seniors work with an intern to talk about post high school plans, and all of them have are going to college, and our interns have helped some of them apply to El Camino. Some of them are going straight to a 4-year college. So all of our seniors are going to be graduating this year, and all of them have already kind of talked about their goals of going to college, some kind of college.
Yes, we're very proud of them to have been able to do so despite all the challenges that they're facing. So thank you for all of you guys have helped with some of the support, and especially, as Carolina mentioned, a great thanks to Torrance Council of PTAs and Project Hope. So just to give you an update on what's going on in Torrance, we recently were informed, we're excited that Torrance Unified has been granted the Community Schools Grant for Torrance Elementary School for the upcoming school year. It is a 2-year planning grant that will provide some time for us to get together and figure out a good committee for district folks and also school-based folks, because Torrance Elementary is getting a new principal. And so to be able to get a group of parents and staff members who can help plan what a community schools would look like and be helpful in the Torrance Elementary community. So that's great. They have a changing demographic. They have a lot of need at that school. And so it would be great to be able to put some resources there to be able to increase achievement for our students at Torrance Elementary. So that's exciting. Also, in the next coming school year, as Carolina mentioned, we are continuing our active parenting series for parents, but we are also going to be launching our first ever parenting class for divorced parents, which unfortunately is a lot more common nowadays. And it's a lot different, right? Parenting a child when parents are separated or divorced can be a lot more challenging, and there's different things that they have to deal with. So we felt maybe a specific class for parents of separated or divorced parents would be a good resource for some of our families. So that's going to be launching in the fall. And if anybody is interested in donating, we do have planned a back to school bash for our homeless and foster youth the week of August 16th through the 20th, which is the week before school starts. So our foster families and homeless families can come and get school supplies and things that they need, backpacks, sometimes lunch bags and so forth, books, those things, so that they can be ready just like their peers and feel normal, like that they're starting school like everybody else with new things and that they're ready to go and have the stuff that they need. So if anybody's interested in donating school supplies, clothing, shoes, or backpacks, they can contact us and to have drop off before August 1st. Let me know via email if anybody's interested. We are lucky that the City of Torrance and the Social Services Commission of the City of Torrance will be helping us to do a school supply drive as well. That also will hopefully benefit the Project Boss through Torrance Council of PTAs, because they also provide backpacks not only for homeless youth or foster youth, but low income youth in Torrance Unified. So it's great to be able to partner with them as well. So we're excited about that. Also, now I will hand it off to Nettie Leolo, who is, I believe, here to give us some updates on counseling.
Hello, everybody. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month. So we have a few counseling updates. One of the exciting things, I know we shared it before, but not sure if everyone attends every month. We know sometimes people aren't able to make it every month. So we just want to share, make sure everyone knows that our elementary schools will be continuing to have a full 5-day week school counselor for next year and the year after, at least. We will be continuing to do Second Step, which is our social emotional learning curriculum in all of our elementary grades. So K through 5. We've also been doing it with our 6th graders as well. Also, one of our schools has applied for the Cal Hope grant for SEL. So the Cal Hope grant is about $12,000 per school year for 2 years. And it's to help support schools, not school districts, but specifically schools in SEL implementation. So we're really excited that one of our schools is applying for the grant. One thing we are looking for, so if anyone hears anything, is we're looking for mini grants for calming rooms. We know some of our elementary schools would really like to be able to get some calming rooms and be able to implement calming rooms, but it takes a little bit of money to get all this stuff to make it a true calming room, sensory items, make it very calm. And so if anyone knows of any mini grants that we might, or our school sites might be able to apply for to help create these calming spaces, it would be wonderful. Also, I forgot to mention that our school-based therapists are continuing for the next couple of years as well. That means we will have one full-time therapist through our wonderful partnership with South Bay Children's Health Center. We'll have one per middle school, one full-time therapist per middle school, and 2 full-time therapists per comprehensive high school. And then Sherry has a couple of days of a therapist. The other thing is, one of the things through our TUPE grant, or Tobacco Use Prevention Education Grant, one of the things is participation in the California Healthy Kids Survey. And so it gives us a lot of great data. And so we are getting our results from the California Healthy Kids Survey, which is a wonderful resource in terms of which can help with planning for the next school year. Just to give you guys an example, some of the, and I'm sorry, the California Healthy Kids Survey is 6, 7, 9, and 11. 7, 9, and 11 are parents have to opt out of their child taking the survey. In grade 6, they have to opt in. So we don't necessarily get a lot of sixth grade results because parents have to opt into the survey versus 7, 9, and 11th grades where they have to opt out. And just give you an idea of the kind of information that we have district-wide and also by school site. Some of the questions are asking about things like learning from home, school performance and engagement, social and emotional health, school violence, bullying, alcohol and drug use, tobacco use. Again, it's an anonymous survey. Asks about other health risks, and things like that. So those are kind of general areas of what's asked in the California Healthy Kids Survey. And so we are excited to see those results, to see and use that information for planning for supports and interventions. Next slide, please. So some of you may have heard, some of you may not have heard yet, but the new 988 line is rolling out in mid-July. And so basically what the federal government decided a couple of years ago is for us to have a 988 line, a nice, simple 3-digit number to dial for mental health crises. And so that phone number is 988. And basically it's replacing the 10-digit phone number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. So instead of having to dial that 10-digit number, all you have to do is dial 988 and you're going to get connected directly to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline number. And so there will be, it's just like the regular National Suicide Prevention Lifeline in the past, except it's a 3-digit number, 988. What they're still working on is that transition, and especially in LA County, is that it's not just for when people want to call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It will also be connecting to crisis services as well. So they're transitioning into, I don't know how many of you guys know, but when we have mental health crises, we call a psychiatric mobile response team. There's one number we usually call. That is going to get incorporated into the 988 number. And so basically it's a new number for anyone to call when they're having mental health crises, or someone they care about, or someone they're with is having a mental health crisis. So instead of 911, or instead of calling the LA County Department of Mental Health crisis line, or calling the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, you'll be dialing 988 and get connected with all of that. And that rollout is in July, this July 16, 2022.
All right. So then
Nancy, I have 2 things. Terry Reagan's again.
yes.
Actually, I'm very well aware of the 988 line, but I understand that there's still issues with funding it and making sure that there are actually resources available to manage that whole system, and that the state and the county were not agreeing on that.
You are correct. So when there were actually a couple of different bills that, believe it or not, did not pass.
Yeah, I knew that.
In terms of the funding, it's very disappointing.
Yes.
I actually heard a presentation that was heartbreaking in terms of like 1 in 6 or 7 calls get dropped, something like that. And when someone's in a mental health crisis, you don't want a call getting dropped, right? And so I'd heard that one of the issues is that we have this 988 number, but I guess it goes back to even the suicide prevention lifeline number and all these other crisis numbers everyone had. They were not fully funded to begin with. And so there were calls that were dropped. And so it's obviously going to be even more evident when everything is going to the same number. And so it's very disappointing, especially in California. Actually, I'm not sure if it was California in the federal bill. One of them was literally 8 cents tax on cell phones, and it didn't pass. Only an 8-cent tax, and it didn't pass. So I know that some California legislators were trying to put forth another bill to see if we can get some funding. I have to look and see where that's at, but I know they were putting forth an additional bill to try and get some funding because, you know, there's no funding to cover this right now.
Okay, I just wanted to see if that had changed. And secondly, Nettie, have you guys talked to TEF about funding calming rooms in any way? Because they actually are always interested in doing things that are certainly in the news and in the forefront of public opinion. And this seems like something that they might be interested in putting money towards.
Thank you. No, we had not thought about it, but that would be great, especially because we have the wellness centers at the high school. If we were to say that, hey, we'd like to make sure we have calming rooms for elementary sites. Thank you, Terry, for that suggestion. Because
okay, and I'm on that committee too, so I can talk to them when I see them at our meetings also.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. Good avenue to look into. Thanks, Terry. All right. So we also wanted to make sure that everybody was aware. We're excited that this week is TUSD's Wellness Week. So we did release toolkits that went out to schools and parents in terms of what is going on this week. We have a poster and video contest that is going on now. So if any of you have students or clients who are interested, they can win prizes. We'll go over that in a minute. We did have a district kickoff video, which I'll be showing you, and some daily themes that people can participate in. And we have some schools that are doing school site activities like they're doing. At one school, I think North High mentioned that they're doing like calming rocks that they get to paint on and write on. Other schools are doing different things throughout the time. Just to give you an idea, we do have our little video that Tammy Khan was able to work on that I wanted to share with you. Hopefully tech continues to work with me this morning and you can see the video to highlight some of our mental health staff throughout the district during our mental health.
I'm so sorry, Nancy, really quickly. I just want to give another update. Sorry, Terry, I was misinformed, not misinformed. I missed something. It looks like in towards the end of April, President Biden said that there's going to be $105 million sent to states to help strengthen crisis call center services. So it looks like there is some funding that has come through from President Biden through the SAMHSA, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, and they're awarding $105 million in grant funding to help with that transition.
Okay, that's a drop in the bucket though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here, let's see if this works. We'll try it.
During Mental Health Wellness Week, it's important for all of us to really think about how we can build healthy habits and stay calm and focused on what our goals are. One thing I like to do, even if I can just do for a couple minutes, is take a brisk walk and get some energy going and blood flowing, and then be able to get right back to work on whatever it is that I'm doing.
During Mental Health Week, we encourage our students to utilize a lot of the different resources we have on campus. If they want to be alone or take a break, we have our butterfly garden that's very calming and soothing. We also have our sensory garden that students can use, take a little break from something that may be stressing them out or just to take some quiet time. We also have the therapist's office and then my office, the counselor's office, that students can access, a mental health professional to help them with the struggles that they're having. And for myself, during Mental Health Week and actually all year round, I like to exercise and listen to music to help myself cope.
Hi, my name is Joy and I'm an 8th grader here at Jefferson. And sometimes things can be a struggle and I have a lot on my plate. Being here at the Egyptian Garden is a good place to take a break and to just be with myself for a little bit.
My name is Taylor. I'm a TUSD therapist. I'm hoping that this Wellness Week will help students to identify different habits that they can include in their daily lives to improve their overall well-being. One of my favorite things to do for wellness is to go on mindful walks, to take in the sights and sounds of nature and to help calm my mind.
I'm Megan. I'm one of the therapists at West High School and I'm looking forward to Wellness Week. I think it's important to build our mental health just as much as we take care of our physical health. Our minds are just as important as our bodies. It's important to build good, healthy coping skills so that we can increase positivity and build our resiliency. This week, I'm looking forward to practicing gratitude and building positivity, and I encourage you to find something that you can be thankful for in your life, and that's going to increase some positive feelings for you.
Hi, and welcome to our Wellness Week. My name is Angelica Jones, and I'm a school counselor here in Torrance. I'm so excited that we're going to be able to all work together this week to focus on things that make us healthy, both physically and emotionally. One thing that I like to do with my students is to practice deep breathing, which becomes very helpful when we have strong emotions. Another thing I hope you can do this week is to really think about and reach out to a person that you feel comfortable talking to about your strong emotions. That person can be a teacher, school counselor, administrator, friend, and relative.
Hi, I'm Bree. I'm one of the therapists at Torrance High School, and one of the things I'm really excited about Wellness Week is talking about ways to get quality rest. So for me, that looks like taking naps on the weekend, reading a book, laying in bed listening to music. And so I'm really excited for students to learn different ways to get that rest that you can sustain yourself throughout the school year.
My name is Joanna Frank. I'm one of the school therapists at Torrance High School. I hope you all have a fun experience doing Wellness Week, and I hope that it's a reminder to parents and students to know the connection between the mind and the body. My wellness tip for you all is to be curious as to what your body is telling you. If your body is telling you to stretch, go ahead and stretch. If your body is telling you to move, go ahead and move.
All right, so we wanted to make sure we shared that video with you so that you're aware. We're hoping that some of our schools played that for their students, for their parents. Also, we're doing a virtual wellness challenge, which students and staff can participate in, even parents with their students at home. So we have the QR code over here in the corner. If you click on it, you can participate to win prizes. So we're going to hold a raffle for students, one for staff, and one for parents, so that they don't have to compete against each other. So it's just to log at any time during this week. You can only log once per day, but if you log anytime during this week indicating that you've tried a new food or have concentrated on your sleep or have done some exercising or some mindfulness activities or journaling, any of those things, you can log it, and you just have to either take a picture or something to prove what you were participating in for Wellness Week this week, and that counts as an entry for one of the prizes. So that's exciting. So if anybody would like to participate, feel free to do so. And we have themes for each day. So what's coming up today is Tasty Tuesday. So we have today, the Department of Nutrition for TUSD is actually holding a workshop at 3 p.m. If anybody's interested, the Zoom link is here on this slide. And they're doing something on mindful eating, which is interesting. So it's they have a lot of great content, and they're actually rolling out at each of our school sites meatless nachos, or what they call at elementary school, or I think is it opposite the high school, a walking taco. So it's a plant-based kind of ground beef type material that kind of looks like ground beef. So it's a different healthy option for kids to taste today. So that's interesting. And then yesterday was Mindful Monday, and we urge people to try out the Virtual Wellness Center that has a page specifically for Wellness Week. So if you want to check that out, you're welcome to do so. And then we have Wellness Wednesday coming up, which we're highlighting the Virtual Wellness Challenge. And then Thankful Thursday. On Thankful Thursday, we have a parent workshop for parents that will be at 5 p.m. via Zoom on bullying prevention. So if anybody's interested, the link is linked there for Thursday at 5 p.m. via Zoom if you'd like to join us. And then Friday is Fit Friday to kind of get out your energy and take care of your body. That's also a great help for our mental health as well. It doesn't always have to be, the very hard running. I don't particularly like running. I know there are a lot of people who love running and say it's great for your body, but there are a lot of other options that are good as well. So walking, bicycling, even dancing, like one of the therapists was saying. So there's a lot of options there. We wanted to share that with you. Here's just a brief glance at the parent toolkit and a handout for mental health and wellness. I think Nettie was going to go over just the flyer so that you're aware of what information went out. Nettie, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I was looking for the unmute button. So the wonderful toolkit that Nancy created went out to parents. The link is the link on the slide for them, or did we already
send? It is on the slide.
Awesome.
And actually it was thanks to Gina, who is one of our counselors, who created the parent.
Oh, that's right. The parent toolkit. Right. Sorry about that.
No,
so the parent toolkit was done by Gina, and then you took care of the other toolkit, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a lot of input from our committee.
Right. So there's some wonderful toolkits there. I don't know if you can tell, but all of these here and here are little links. So a link to a belly breathing video for parents, alternate nostril breathing. And then there is the flyer talking about healthy body, healthy mind, mental health matters, where we're highlighting prevention, intervention, and intensive support that is provided through the school district, including our wellness centers, school counselors, therapists, our mental health intern program, which is coordinated by Carolina, and our virtual wellness center. And also included at the bottom are links to South Bay Families Connected, which has wonderful resources in terms of videos for teens, parents, on anything involving mental health and social emotional wellness. Also Care Solace, if someone's looking for mental health counseling, any kind of mental health counseling or addiction counseling, they're able to go to Care Solace, which we actually pay for through our TUPE grant. They're able to go through there and go through the steps and seek support for whatever they need, whether it's substance use, whether it's anxiety, depression, things like that.
All right. So then I mentioned already that we are having a bullying workshop, and our speaker will be highlighted through South Bay Families Connected. It's Joan Stein, who is a previous director of the Beach Cities Juvenile Diversion Project, which provides different services for students, and she has experience with students and mental health in being in charge of that program. In Torrance, there's a juvenile diversion program as well that provides some subsidized therapy referrals that they can make. So that's another referral option as well for some of our families. But she will be covering bullying this Thursday at 5 p.m. if anybody is interested. So I wanted to make sure to highlight that. And as I mentioned, we're very excited if you have students or clients who would still like to participate. We're still taking entries to our poster and video contest. They can either create a video or a poster that follows the theme, right? This year's theme is TUSD, Healthy Body, Healthy Mind. Anything related to wellness, it's open to all students. We are going to have winners in elementary, middle, and high school, so first, second, and third place, so that they can earn art kits, gift cards to Target or Starbucks, or even a Fire tablet. So we're excited to be able to give those prizes away. We have the email here where they need to email us their entries, either the video or a picture of their poster or drawing. And then we will be able to judge. So we're excited to be able to do that. If anyone's interested, the link is there they should email us at buildingbridges@TUSD. And just a quick reminder that we have our online enrollment system going. We're already enrolling all grades for 22-23 school year. as our school year is closing. We're taking incoming permit applications still, and we still have some space in our dual language program. So if you know of any families who have little kiddos entering kindergarten who may be interested in the dual language program in Spanish, they can still apply, and there is still a little bit of space. So they can get more information on our TUSD website. And just a quick reminder, if there are families that you know of that have new little ones that need to enroll, we are holding workshops because we know it can be difficult. We have a new system, everything is online. They don't just bring their papers and fill it out. They have to upload things, and maybe they don't have a scanner. They're not sure how to do so. So we are holding a few workshops to help families go through the technical process. So we're doing one tomorrow. Well, one day is tomorrow, but we're doing 2 different times for depending on people's schedules. So we have one at 11 a.m. and then we're also doing another one at 5 p.m. We have another one next week on May 31st, where we're also doing 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. So a little bit later. And then we're doing another workshop, 2 of them in June, to catch some of those parents who may not have come in yet. So if parents would like to come to some of those workshops, these are in person, and they should bring all of the documents that they need to upload for enrollment. So like birth certificate, identification, those proofs of residence, immunization records, all of those things, so we can help them go through the process. So we left that there for you in case anybody's interested. And then I won't be spending too much time going over these resources because I do want to get to Carolina's portion, which is important. But I did put in here a few resources that were shared with us that we wanted to make sure everybody was aware of. LA County Probation is hosting a community resource fair locally in the Torrance Civic Center on June 1st from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. They are providing lunch and resources and free COVID shots. So that's also an opportunity if people are interested, either the first, second, or their booster shots. So that's another place. All of the people's logos that are on here will be participating. So they have a lot of resources available for families that are either experiencing homelessness or that are in probation. So there's a lot of different services. And I do see the YMCA is on there. So they probably will be there as well. It looks like DMH, some home housing resources that are on there. So quite a few resources available. Then we have, since it's foster care month, we did want to highlight, if you know of any foster youth that are going on to college, they're having a Zoom for community college participants to be able to provide some information about the programmings that they have for foster youth to support them once they get to college. Because as unfortunately, as I mentioned, they have much lower graduation rates from not only high school, but even worse from college. So they do have quite a few support programs at pretty much every college you could think of, including community colleges, to support foster youth as they're maneuvering through college, right? And also there is a summer mentoring program for LGBTQ youth that is going to be happening during the summer from June 20th through July 30th. So if anybody is interested, you can click on that QR code or look at their website, rainbowlabs.org, if you're interested. And we got an email from Smile California, which is through Covered California and Medi-Cal, a push to make sure that families are aware that Medi-Cal also covers dental, because dental health is very critical for students and for adults as well. So they want to make sure that families are aware that Medi-Cal also covers dental so that families can access that care as well. And there's a new organization that may be presenting to our collaborative in the fall sometime. It's called H2O Life. It's to support students, another wellness option, and to help our overall wellness and mental health. So their programming is more to kind of encourage wellness by doing water activities, which is great sometimes as we live closer to the beach. That's pretty common. And also talking about Mental Health Awareness Month, there are some workshops through DMH that are being done via Zoom on specific mental health topics. So you can see that some already happened, one in April it looks like, but they do have family violence, which Oh no, that already occurred. So the June one is the only one that's upcoming, is June 9th through drug and alcohol prevention. So if anybody's interested, they're both in English and Spanish, and there are other two resources here for reading and family and diversity. So if anybody's interested, the Reading Rainbow is about reading books in bilingual, both English and Spanish. And then the first one is more about accepting diversity and culture. And now I will hand it off to Carolina, who will be closing off with an activity about Mental Health Awareness Month.
Thank you, Nancy. So we just wanted to take a few minutes to just talk about Mental Health Awareness Month, because it's a month that's dedicated to focusing on mental health. And so we're going to start off with a video. I think we have time.
We all have mental health. It is just as important as physical health. It is not only about mental illness or mental disorders. This is just one part of a bigger picture. It's best to think about mental health as being on a continuum, rather than people being either mentally ill or mentally well. We are all on the continuum, and we move up and down according to factors such as our genetic makeup and upbringing, our life circumstances, and the stresses we are under. At one end of the continuum, we have mental disorders, like depression or anxiety. And at the other end, we have states of positive mental health, when we're thriving, content, and fulfilled. The aim of mental health interventions is to move people up the continuum, so that they're able to reach their full potential and live satisfying lives. The World Health Organization describes mental health as a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. Being mentally healthy means being resilient and able to cope with difficult times, feeling in control, being confident, feeling good about yourself, managing and expressing your emotions, building and maintaining good relationships. We all experience periods when we feel stressed, worried, anxious, sad, afraid, or angry. These are all normal emotions. However, when these emotions become severe enough that it interferes with a person's ability to function daily, and these feelings become persistent over time, then it can develop into a mental health problem. There are many different types of mental disorders. When left untreated, mental disorders can be chronic and long-lasting, and are associated with increased disability. They significantly have an impact on daily functioning and frequently interfere with family, social, and work responsibilities. Fortunately, there are effective treatments and evidence-based interventions available that aim to help individuals understand and cope with symptoms of mental illness. However, very few people with mental disorders access existing treatment services. This may be due to barriers such as the stigma attached to seeking help, the lack of understanding of mental health problems, uncertainty of how to get help, or the fear of disclosing mental health problems. Research shows that stigma remains one of the biggest factors preventing people from seeking help early for their mental health problems and getting the appropriate support they need. It is important to acknowledge that we all have mental health and have a personal responsibility to learn how we can improve and maintain our well-being in order to lead meaningful and satisfying lives.
You can stop it, Nancy. You just wait for a little while.
We all have mental.
So one of the reasons I like that video is because it talked about normalizing mental health, right? Like mental health is in all of our lives. And I think a lot of times, especially us on the call, we're busy worrying about other people's mental health, other people's well-being in our jobs, in the work we do for the community. And we don't really think about our own mental health and how and how our work impacts our mental health, how our life impacts our mental health. So these are just some facts, which I'm not going to go over, but these are just some facts about mental health. But I really wanted this time to be more of an opportunity and a space to think about and reflect on our own mental health. So Nancy, if you go to the next slide. So these are just some self-reflection questions that maybe we want to take the time to ask ourselves. What makes us feel alive? What are our core values? When was the last time I just sat with my thoughts? Do I practice what I preach? When was the last time I was able to acknowledge a mistake I made? Where might I learn forgiveness for myself or others? And what makes me happy? Right. I think taking that time to when we're able to model healthy coping, healthy mental health, right? It helps us not only in our lives, but it helps those around us. It helps the students that we work with see what it's like, or what it means to have mental health, to have a healthy mindset, which I think sometimes a lot of our students lack. So I actually put in the chat a checklist for mental health. It's a mental health checklist, and I just encourage you to think about some of these questions and look at the checklist and maybe commit to participating in some of these mental health activities this month to improve your own mental health, so that we are happier people and we are therefore better able to be effective in the work that we're very dedicated to. If you want to go to the next slide, Nancy. So these are just some resources. These are resources for students, but there's also resources for adults. So actually, Nancy, I edited this, but I don't think you got the last one. So, but one of the things that I put on there is EAP, right? Employee assistance programs. That's one of the things that I think a lot of times we do not use enough. And it's a very valuable and important resource that we have available to us. I would encourage you to use it if you ever feel like you need to. A lot of these are for students as well. Carousel is another one that we can use as adults. They will help link us up to services. And then these are other resources that you could use with your students.
And just to add on the carousel list, if staff members are using carousel list, it is kept completely confidential. Mm-hmm. So when we look at the data at the end of the year, it just tells us how many staff members have access. It doesn't give us any name or identifying information at all.
And just to add, we've talked a lot these past couple of years of the effect that COVID has had on our students, but we don't often talk about the effect that COVID has had on us. And so I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. And your mental health is just as important as your students' mental health.
Sorry about that. So we will go ahead and let you go because it's already noon, but we just wanted to let you know this is our last meeting for the year. We hope next year we will be back in person. So we're excited to get people back in the same room. We will be probably doing quarterly meetings like we did this year, but we will probably rotate the time so that we can see if some of our school staff can attend if it's later in the day. So we will try that again next year. I will be sending out an email probably in August to let you know of all of the dates. And we hope to see you in person next year. So feel free during the summer to check out our virtual wellness center and let us know if you have any questions or suggestions on speakers or resources that you would like us to bring to Torrance. Feel free to let me know so that we can get that going for our calendar for next school year. We just thank you for everything that you've done this year, and take care of yourselves this summer, and we hope to see you in August. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Nettie or to Building Bridges, and we hope you have a great week. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, are you still recording? Are you still recording?